But maybe you should buy Powerball tickets this year. Because it seems 2016 is when long shots just might pay off.
Bernie Sanders is within striking distance of Hillary Clinton in both Iowa and New Hampshire.
Sanders also outperforming Clinton in hypothetical matchups against the Republicans.
In the last quarter, he raised $33 million, just $4 million shy of Secretary Clinton.
Despite Clinton raising $112 million, she's worried about a surging Sanders.
Ah, yes, a surging Sanders. Something tells me you don't want to search that on Urban Dictionary. You know, surging Sanders, it's when you come out of nowhere. As Sanders catches up with and even surpasses Hillary Clinton in Iowa and New Hampshire polls, you might be wondering, who is this rising, new yet old force in the Democratic Party? And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we present the legend of Bernie Sanders. You see, Sanders was born in Brooklyn in 1941 and raised by his parents, a Che Guevara poster and a scratchy wool sweater. A turning point in Sanders' life came as a teenager when he was bitten by a radioactive senior citizen, giving him the power to be as grumpy as 10 old men. Sanders soon moved to Vermont, launching his political career by running as an independent for mayor of Burlington. He won that race and later ran for Congress and won that too. Then he ran for Senate and won that. And if he didn't get into politics, he probably would have won The Voice as well. And you think this is a joke, but Bernie Sanders released an actual folk album in 1987 titled We Shall Overcome.
As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me.
That is amazing. That is real, by the way. That is Bernie Sanders, and that is a real song that he made. Even if he does become president, I hope he doesn't give up singing. No, we need more Bernie Sanders covering songs. You know, could you just imagine him? Hello from the other side. Hello, can you hear me from the other side? Where are the buttons on this thing? So that's where Sanders came from. Now, the big question is, what does Sanders believe in? What is his vision for America? Well, let's start at the beginning. Bernie Sanders described himself as a democratic socialist, a phrase that to some suggests slave labor camps. But that's not what Bernie Sanders stands for. That is wrong, because he's a democratic socialist. So he will let us vote for who runs the labor camps. Actually, Sanders' brand of socialism means policies like breaking up the largest banks to protect Americans from massive potential bailouts, and also allowing the post office to do some basic banking services. Now, this is a great plan, because this would help lower-income people get basic banking services from the government instead of expensive check-cashing stores. And it would also encourage people to save, because if they wanted to withdraw their money, they'd have to stand in a 45-minute line behind people trying to mail their jugs of kerosene in a building that's only open from 11 a.m. to 1:35. What the hell's wrong with the post office? I'm never on time. Probably the main reason for Sanders' growth is the fact that he's outspoken about wanting to help the middle class at the expense of the rich.
I want to expand Social Security, and we do that by lifting the cap on taxable income for people earning above $250,000 a year.
Rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure will be paid by doing away with the loophole that allows corporations to stash their money in the Cayman Islands tax-free.
I want Wall Street now to help kids in this country go to college.
It is time that Wall Street, corporate America, and the billionaire class understand that they are going to start paying their fair share of taxes.
It's weird, I can't picture Bernie Sanders whispering. I want to tell you a secret. So yeah, that's what he wants, more taxes for corporate America and the billionaires, which I support, unless I win Powerball. Then boo, boo, because I worked for that money. So many on Team Sanders seem to think that his social programs can be paid entirely by the 1%, but it's way more complicated than that. The Wall Street Journal calculated that the cost of Sanders' social programs will average $1.8 trillion a year, and in 2013, the top 1% only made $1.7 trillion, although that's according to a low-end estimate that only includes people who filed tax returns. Since there's 20 to 30 million people who don't file the returns, that means the top 1% would include more income. Also, the 1.7 trillion estimate only accounts for adjusted gross income. And I feel like have I lost you guys? What I'm trying to say is Bernie Sanders wants rich people to pay more elephants. That's what I'm trying to say. Although if you ask me personally, I think Bernie Sanders' popularity has nothing to do with policy. I think it's because he's opposite Trump. You see, the world craves balance. Bernie is the yin to Trump's racist yang. Even their origin stories are the same. Both grew up in New York City, and both inherited something from their fathers.
My then wife and I, we had a little bit of money. My dad had passed away, left a few $1,000s.
I started off in Brooklyn. My father gave me a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, a small loan of $1 million. And this is what I love about American fathers. They leave their sons with some cash money. African fathers, they leave you with nothing but a bunch of dreams. There's also one other huge similarity.
The issue is the huge amounts of money that it takes to run a campaign.
I have a huge company.
Huge issue.
I'm a huge Second Amendment person.
Huge tax breaks.
Huge problem at the border.
Just think of it. Trump versus Sanders. That would be
magnificent,
Enormous.
Humongous.
Big.
so close.